Hi, I'm Sarah from Portals to the Paranormal, and this evening we have two very special guests.
Oh, yeah, I gotta...
Did it? Oh, hi guys.
Hello, what's up?
We have Chris. I'm so excited. Chris Smith and Mike Goncalves. Is that correct? From Wraith Chasers. Oh, thank God. Oh.
Thanks for having us.
No, thank you. I really appreciate it. So, guys, how are you?
Very good. Yep, very good. Enjoying. Spring is on the way, so it's good.
And we're finally going to be out of this COVID lark and that, and get the old injection, and we can get back to normal. That's the plan, isn't it?
Yep,
we hope so.
Right, I'm going to. Hopefully, the numbers are going to pick up, and the people at home are going to ask their questions as well. So I'll read them out as they do. But I've got a few questions for you guys, if you don't mind answering them.
Sure.
Oh, fantastic. So I'll start. Right, they're probably the same old la-di-da that you've heard before, but bear with me. It's people. I say, what is the scariest paranormal experience for you guys?
There's so many.
We've never actually heard that question.
Oh, really?
No, we get that question all the time. I'm gonna go scariest experience. Probably at Old South Pittsburgh Hospital in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee. That was one of the places that we kind of really cut our teeth into when we very first started into ghost hunting. And this was the first full-bodied apparition I'd ever seen. And upstairs on the third floor, it's really weird the way it's set up. It's like psych ward, and it goes right into the nursery area. And then there's like an elevator, and you go over here, and there's surgery rooms. And I kept seeing in the stairwell this light source to my left because I was investigating in the nursery area. And so I went to check it out finally, and I passed the surgical hallway, and I saw what looked like it looked like a little girl, I'd say somewhere between 9 and 12 years old. She had like a really long white T-shirt on, and it had either Looney Tunes or some sort of cartoon. I can't remember exactly what it looked like. But she had like no face, and it was one of those things where, it's so quick. It's like a split second. You look over, and then you kind of do a double take, and it's gone. That's just one. I don't know if that's the scariest, but that's the first thing that popped into my brain.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's great that it's actually a modern day ghost, because they're always something like the 16th century, and it's something so modern, isn't it? So to see that's a real treat, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and it goes along with the time period when that hospital was in operation. So,
yeah. What about you, Mike?
There's so many. I'm going to actually go back. Ghost Asylum, I started on production, so I'm going to go back pretty much those last 8 episodes of Ghost Asylum. I'm going to say all of them pretty much, in Old South Pittsburgh was one of those locations. But now, like, to fast forward a little bit, we do a lot of stuff in teams and pairs and stuff like that. Those days, working production, I did a lot by myself. Not investigating, but I was in these locations by myself in all areas alone. So I experienced a lot there, and it's a totally different ballgame when you experience something by yourself than, you kind of feel a little bit comfort when at least one person's with you. But all 8 of those locations, I was by myself. So I'm going to just throw season 3 of Ghost Asylum into that, because it's pretty scary when something happens and you're alone and you don't know the location well enough to find your way back out if something really did go wrong or something, and you have a job to do. So it's not like I can just go, I'm out, this is scary. It's like I got to still finish working. So I'm going to go season 3.
Where do you run to as well, isn't it? I had the same experience in a prison, and there's like all these places to run to, and you just want to get out, but you don't know where to go. Being asylum, I can imagine, is going to be hellish. So I'm just touching on a few of the TV shows, if I may. So I did a marathon on Ghost Asylum, because it's the only thing I could find in the UK on Sky. You've done Haunted Towns, Haunted Live, Haunted Weekends, and I have gone mad on YouTube just watching everything that you guys have put out. So the new series is Haunted Towns, isn't it? But what is that broadcasted on? Is that Discovery, is it?
Travel Channel. It's under the Discovery umbrella. They're all the same now. They bought out, so yeah, it was last aired on Travel Channel.
Oh, awesome. And you're at Bosworth Hall, aren't you?
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Well, the September got bumped to March. So now we're going to be March of 2022. I think safety precautions just to not get to the last minute and God forbid, have to cancel it. They just went ahead and postponed it to March. So we'll be there in March now.
Oh.
We're still going just a little bit later than we expected.
No, yeah, well, that's safe and sorry. And will you be guys doing chats about the TV series and what your plans for the future are and things like that? Is that how it works?
For our visit there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a ghost hunt, and then I think it's just like speaking and more from what we're reading, it sounds like I think we'll call them conventions or whatever. I think she's calling it a festival is a little different than the way we do things here. So it actually seems a lot more laid back. So we're looking forward to it. Like seems like it's just a real good hang time with fans, with guests and stuff like that, not just down to work like we're used to here. So it's going to be if we're reading that correctly, it's going to be a nice change. One, I mean, it's also our first time, all of our first time going over there. So
will you be
What's that?
Will you be staying for a little while? Are you going to come and visit the UK and maybe do some ghost hunts over here at the same time?
Yeah, I think that's scheduling us for 3 days, but we're planning on either coming a day or two early or staying a day or two later, just to do the whole tourist thing.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get any ghost hunting done there. I mean, obviously, we'd love to get some investigation time in England, but for our first visit, because we ghost hunt every weekend, usually every Friday and Saturday, we're somewhere across the country investigating, or if we're filming, it's all week and then the weekend. So we want to go over there and visit some of the sites, and I can't wait to get to the Guinness factory over there in Ireland. I can't wait to visit Big Ben and look at some of the old, really old stuff that you guys have out there. I've always dreamed of doing that.
Yeah, you guys got to. I mean, we've got so much stuff. We got castles.
I know.
And tunnels from where I think Fort Whitley's a good one because we're from Hampshire. We're Hampshire based. We've got an abundance of stuff here, and you guys would just love it. I think we're doing East Drive. Have you heard of East Drive? The Poltergeist house or the Black Monk's house?
You cut out for a second. Which one?
Of East Drive. Have you heard of that one? The Poltergeist, the Black Monk's house?
Oh, I have not. Nope.
You know what? I think I have heard of that. But you cut out again at the very beginning. You keep saying the name, and it's like cutting you off at the beginning. But I have heard of the Black Monk, so I think I'm familiar with that story.
So in the UK, where would you like to visit? A dream location, should we say, if you could?
Oh man.
Like for investigating?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be picky. I would take. I mean, I don't know the full history, so I would go anywhere. It just seems from the little bit that we read on it or hear about it, it's just so much older than what we're used to. Places we're investigating. I mean, we go back to maybe Civil War is like probably the oldest. A couple of things that we've done were maybe a little older than that, but nowhere near the history and stuff that you guys have over there. Like you're saying, castles and stuff that go back way more than just 200 years, and that's what we're used to.
Mike, I'm going to send you a list, and then you can Google them, and you'll be like, I want to go there. I definitely want to.
We'll be over there for a month.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I'm going to go back to my questions quick. What is your thoughts on like Victorian methods, like Ouija boards, table tipping, and the flower, all the old kind of stuff? Do you use that? Because I know you guys make traps, don't you? But you're more into technical gear?
Technical into like recorders and maybe cameras and stuff, yes, but we do have all the little gadgets and stuff that you see on the show. And when we do events on the weekends, like public ghost hunts, we'll bring dowsing rods, we'll bring a board, a Ouija board and stuff. I personally don't use it, but I bring it for other people if they know how and they want to and stuff. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think there's anything evil behind it. It's just, I just don't feel comfortable with it. So I don't know why. For knowing that there's probably nothing evil about it, it's just, but I bring it for other people to use.
I don't use it personally because it doesn't work with me. Like, a lot of people use dowsing rods. I've tried to use those things several times and nothing happens. I use a Ouija board, and for one, I know like nothing happens for me with a trusted person, but like say somebody that you don't really know, and they come and start moving it around. It's like, there's too much up in the air for me. Like, I'm a little too skeptical to like, share that with somebody I don't know. Plus, I'm just not, I guess, as in tune as some people who it does really work with. So I kind of maybe hinder the thing from working. So I'm more
influenced, aren't they?
What's that?
They're easily influenced.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is, I'll never know if it's really moving because I'm not touching it. So if I watch two other people doing it, it's skating across the board. I'm like, are they moving it? I'll never know because I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So
same with dowsing rods.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on psychics and mediums? Do you believe in them?
Yeah, I believe. I'm taking everything you do.
No, I mean, I believe that there are some people out there with gifts. We've had several that have been on the show. We've had several that we've worked with that I think are legit, that know what they're talking about. But then I've also, on the other side of that, there are a lot of people who are fakers out there, and they just want attention, and they just want money, and or I think for the most part, a lot of the kind of more fake ones that I've met or interacted with have more so just wanted attention. But I do believe that there are people out there with those types of connections.
Yeah. I look at it three. I think there's very few people out there with the gift. I think there's a good chunk of people that think they have a gift, and then they just kind of, they play around with stuff. And then I think there's the bigger chunk of people that pretend they do, like Chris was saying, the attention getters, and we see it all the time. And we don't know for sure, but you can just kind of,
you can tell.
Like, your own gut tells you about somebody, and it's like, we don't call them out, but it's like some people just want to hear themselves talk all night. So, but I do believe there's people that do have a gift.
What's your favorite bit of equipment to use? What do you think really does work for you guys?
Number one is a recorder, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Digital recorder. It's tried and true. That's what we've caught most of our evidence on. Meters are also very impressionable. Like, you never know if it's, a ghost. I mean, sometimes if it's direct response with the meters, which, we have had in certain places where it's just like, I'll count to three. When I get to three, can you please light it up? Those types of things are a little bit easier to believe. But then, sometimes you'll just get a meter going off for, other reasons, just the atmosphere, the standing EMF in the room, or somebody's cell phone. And then there's like, for me personally, the spirit box is probably my most hated piece of equipment. Yeah, I'm not a spirit box kind of guy. To me, it's just scanning through radio stations, and people hear what they want to hear based off bits and pieces of what it says. And you just kind of matrix yourself to hear what you want to hear. And that's what it is. For me, a spirit box needs to be 100% static, and then no radio station interference. Then if you get, a full-blown word or a name or some sort of, intelligent interaction, then I'll believe a little bit more about what a spirit box has to offer.
Oh, fantastic. Well, yeah. We got a question from Dan Winter. Is there any investigator, Chris and Mike, that you would love to investigate with?
Investigator wise, I would have loved to have investigated with Ed or Lorraine Warren, or both of them. Unfortunately, that's never going to happen. So that's a bummer. I'd like to hit it up with John Zaffis. We've got to hang out with John a lot at the conventions, but we've never really got to investigate with the guy. But we have had the opportunity to investigate with some of the greats. Steve and Tango. They're awesome. Love investigating with those guys. The Ghost Brothers, those guys are stand-up guys. They're hilarious, and they know how to get down to business. So we've been very lucky.
Awesome.
I know exactly. I think because, like I said, we met him a good handful of times, and personally, he's just a cool guy. So you would look at him and not think his personality is if you just see a picture of him, but it's like he's so cool and down to earth, and it's like I think that's the kind of guy I would like to investigate with.
Is there anywhere in America or wherever would be your dream destination to investigate? Is there anywhere you haven't been yet but you would love to go?
Ooh, there's so many.
For me, it's the Bell Witch Cave. That's always my answer. I've been wanting to go there since I was a kid. It's only about 45 minutes down the road, but I don't know if you're familiar over there with the story of the Bell Witch, but it's a pretty, for us, it's like one of the biggest ghost stories here in America. It dates back to the Andrew Jackson days. He actually experienced it. There's many books written about it. Supposedly the ghost, it's one of the only hauntings that killed a man, like a spirit that actually poisoned a man and, plagued this town of Adams, Tennessee for, years and caused the death. And it's a very interesting story. And there's actually a cave where the witch has said that's where she left. Whenever she left the family, she said she was going to go and stay in the cave. And unfortunately, there was another show that got to it before we did, and they kind of ruined it. I guess they didn't play ball well with the town, and now the mayor is like, no, and the people who own the property is like, no, and we keep telling them, we're like, yeah, but we're not them, we're good guys, and they're like, no. So for me, it's right down the road, but that's probably my number one bucket list location.
You did Salem though, didn't you?
Yes.
Was that any good for you?
Salem was amazing. Gina, my girlfriend, and I just went to Salem this past November. It's an amazing place to visit. There's a lot of history there. But yeah, we got some really great evidence when we investigated the Parson Barnard house. We investigated up there. What were some of the other? Do you remember the other look? I know you were on the production end, but trying to remember where else we were, because there's so many. You start kind of losing track. But yeah, we got, I'm not a big Obulus guy either, but we got some very spot on names of some of the ladies that were burned to death, back in the day. They were accused of being witches. I don't honestly think any of them were really witches necessarily. I think it had a lot to do with, the town, and a lot to do with, just who you knew and who you wanted to, the higher ups wanted land or wanted, ulterior motives. So they were taking out these girls strategically. But anyway, I'm rambling here, but yeah, Salem is an amazing place.
Yeah, the thing, if you're into your witches, you'd love Pendle Hill in the UK, and also there's a place called Boscastle, which they'd like to execute witches there, and that'd be ideal for you guys. Like I say, I'm going to send you a list. And I've got a few questions. Joanne has asked you both, what got you? Well, this is a question you've never heard. This question, never. What got you both into the paranormal?
I'll give you my short one. They did. Like I said, I started working production on Ghost Asylum, so I got the gig doing behind the scenes, and over the last 6 years now, it's like through that time, just working from behind the scenes, slowly came on a team, did more investigations, and then slowly here I am now. So I've always believed in paranormal. It's nothing I never sought out before. So it's like, going back to our first question, that's where I had the experiences that stick out, was working behind the scenes. So that's what got my start, and my real joy for it, and Jones for it, was working behind the scenes. So if it wasn't for them, I would never be doing this.
It's like a white knuckle ride, isn't it?
Yeah.
Same time.
The short answer for me is I saw what I believe to be a shadow apparition in my early 20s. In my grandfather's barn. It was said to have been haunted. There was a guy that really did shoot himself back in the 50s in the barn. And, as I was a kid, my uncle and my grandfather always told me it was haunted, but I always thought, they were just messing with me. But I truly believe I experienced something there, and that's kind of what, put me down that path.
Do you ever say like some sort of protection chant, or are you religious just before you go into somewhere? Do you believe that am I allowed to ask that question in a higher form, just to cover your back, should I say?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. We pray, if you watch Ghost Asylum, we pray before we go into, anywhere. We're just Christian guys, and, we believe in God, and that's our only protection that we need, that we believe.
Have you ever had anything follow you home? Never heard that question before, have you?
My answer is no, and if so, I don't want to know.
No.
I don't know if it did. I mean, we do it a lot, so maybe it has. But again, I don't want to know. I don't want to hear a bump in the night. I don't want to hear a whisper. My home is, I leave all that behind me.
Yeah, I've had, I think, several things follow me home. In fact, this room, I think, is probably the most haunted room in my home. It's the office, and a lot of people, when I'm on the phone in here, they'll always ask me, like, who's that lady talking in the background? I'm like, I don't know, but next topic. I'm kind of like Mike too. I know they're here sometimes. They'll kind of show me they're here, but I'm not I'm not in investigation mode when I'm at home. I don't want to know. I don't want to egg them on, because we all know if you just ignore them most of the time, they'll leave you alone.
What do your friends and family think of what you do? Do they think you're crazy?
No, my family loves it. I mean, they wouldn't do it. They don't think I'm crazy for doing it. I mean, they're intrigued and they love it by watching it or hearing the stories, but no, they love it. They're supportive of it. And they're like, go get it.
Yeah, same here. I don't think my mom and dad have ever been on a ghost hunt with me. Obviously, Brandon, my brother, he's been on a lot. But yeah, they're all very supportive. I even, at church, we're missionary Baptist, my family and I. And when I do get a weekend off and get to go to church, nothing but good things. How's it going? How's the show going? Or what all did you experience over the last weekend? Or they're all pretty cool with it.
What does the future hold for the Tennessee Wraith? If I said that, Wraith Chasers, going to get soon, or?
Well, last year, of course, threw the monkey wrench, I think, in everybody's game. So as of this year, I think we're playing catch up. There's some things that could be working out, is what we can say,
A UK tour, maybe.
A UK tour?
Hey, if somebody funds it, we're there. We'll do it all next year.
Just get a camper van.
Oh, yeah.
Hook up with some of these paranormal teams, and we can get you in the location. Do it on the cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I know you guys are busy, so I'm going to wrap it up now. And I really appreciate you coming on and having a little chin wag with me.
Thank you so much for having us.
It's our pleasure. Thank you.
The numbers would have been a bit bigger, but we missed our slot. But I'm just gonna, share away this. What was the other question? Have you ever been so scared? Last question. Have you ever been so scared that you have actually incontinented yourself?
That's a good question. That one we actually never got. No, we haven't. I haven't.
No, not that I'm aware.
Maybe a few
maybe some words come out. Maybe some words come out that you're not normally going to say, but no, I never peed myself or the other. Watch that next time we're out. Knock on wood. But no, not yet. But there's always hope.
Hopefully no one's filming when you do it.
Yep, exactly.
Brilliant.
Oh, that will be sure to keep on the show.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you.
All right,
God bless so much. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
everyone for watching as well. Bye. Oh, wow, that was brilliant. Thank you guys. They turned up in the end and we had a little interview. It was brilliant. Thanks guys. Bye.